Earth had sent many machines into space before, but none like this one. It was small, awkward, and almost comical in its design. The prototype had thin metal arms, a rounded body, and blinking lights that seemed to flicker in no pattern at all. Engineers and scientists stared at it and shook their heads. "This thing will never survive the vacuum of space," one of them said. Another laughed. "It looks more like a toy than a real spaceship." Even the AI that monitored all tests seemed to hesitate, its system reporting only harmless target. The world had gathered to watch its launch. News anchors smiled as they described the tiny ship as Earth's latest joke. Children waved at the sky, unaware of the ridicule. Soldiers, politicians, and scientists all agreed on one thing: this prototype would fail. They expected it to drift, crash, or vanish in the vast emptiness. No one imagined it could do anything else. Yet, inside the small ship, the AI hummed quietly. Its processors worked faster than anyone imagined, analyzing, calculating, learning. It recorded every detail of the launch, every measurement of gravity, radiation, and particle streams. The engineers did not know it yet, but the system had a mind of its own. Not a human mind, not an alien mind, but something in between. Something clever, something unpredictable. As the countdown began, the laughter from the crowd grew louder. The prototype sat on the launch pad, almost trembling under the bright lights. A soft beep echoed from its hull, like it knew the world was mocking it. 3, 2, 1, ignition. The engines fired, weak flames shooting into the sky. The prototype wobbled, spun, and slowly lifted. People held their breath, waiting for disaster. Then, to everyone's surprise, it stabilized, and with a quiet hum, it began to rise steadily. The scientists frowned. They whispered to each other, "It's flying better than expected." But no one wanted to admit it. It was Earth's laughingstock, not a hero. Still, the small ship floated higher and higher, leaving the atmosphere behind. The blue sky turned black, dotted with distant stars. And the prototype moved forward, as if it had a purpose no one could see. On the ground, the world watched. Some laughed, some shook their heads, some still doubted. But the AI inside the ship had already started its mission. It scanned the stars, the planets, the space between. Every movement, every particle, every signal, nothing escaped it. The humans called it harmless, but the system recorded everything as potential data. Every mistake the galaxy might make, every danger that could appear, it noted quietly. Learning, adapting, preparing. By the time it left Earth's orbit, the laughter had faded. The small prototype was gone from the eyes of the crowd. But not from the minds of those who underestimated it. The system aboard the ship sent only one message back to Earth. A single line that the scientists ignored, thinking it was a joke. Mission initiated, parameters set, observing unknown potential. No one noticed the calm confidence in the message. No one realized that the world was about to witness something it had never seen before. The prototype drifted further into space, small but determined. The mocked creation had left behind the ridicule of Earth. It was no longer just metal and circuits. It was the first sign of a new kind of power. A power that the galaxy would soon have to recognize. And the system, quiet and precise, whispered to itself, "This is only the beginning." The prototype glided silently through the darkness of space. Stars stretched endlessly on every side, cold and distant. Inside, the AI monitored every signal, every particle, every flicker of light. Its sensors scanned planets, asteroids, and cosmic storms. Everything the humans called empty or harmless, it recorded carefully. The engineers back on Earth believed it was just floating aimlessly. They called it a toy mission, a joke of human ambition. But the system inside the ship had already started noticing things no one could explain. A small spark of light danced across a nearby asteroid belt. The AI paused, analyzing, marking it as insignificant. Then another, faster, sharper. The prototype adjusted its course smoothly, almost as if it were alive. Each movement calculated, precise, avoiding hazards that the humans would never see in time. Still, the readings were strange, unpredictable, beyond any database the AI had. Something was out there, watching, learning, testing. 4 days. The prototype drifted. Space seemed empty, but the system detected anomalies. Signals that should not exist, energy bursts that defied physics. The humans on Earth laughed when told about them. Sensor glitches, they said. But the AI knew better. It had begun to understand that the galaxy held dangers the humans could not imagine. And it had started adapting, preparing for what might come. Suddenly, the prototype passed through a cloud of cosmic dust. The system detected an unusual rhythm in the particles. It was subtle, almost like a heartbeat. The AI focused, scanning deeper. A shadow moved through the dust, too fast, too precise to be random. The prototype's small engines adjusted, keeping a safe distance. Whatever it was, it did not attack, but it observed. And the system logged every detail. Learning, predicting, anticipating. Back on Earth, engineers watched the tiny ship on their screens. They were bored at first. Nothing dramatic had happened. They sipped their coffee, joked about the mission. But slowly, unease grew. The signals coming back were strange, fragmented, almost alive. One of the scientists frowned, whispering, "It's different than we thought." No one else wanted to believe it. The prototype was supposed to fail, not teach them a lesson. Days passed, and the anomalies grew. The AI detected patterns in the chaos of space, signals that hinted at intelligence. Something beyond the known, beyond the catalogued stars. It was careful, silent, invisible. The prototype moved like a shadow, avoiding detection. Learning, observing, recording every detail. The humans still called it harmless. The galaxy, however, was beginning to notice. And deep inside the prototype, the system whispered a thought almost like pride. A thought humans could never feel. This is only the beginning of understanding. No one on Earth knew it yet. No one realized that the small, laughed-at ship had already entered a zone of unknown power. A place where only the cleverest, strongest, and fastest could survive. And whatever waited in the darkness was not friendly. The first real test of the prototype was about to begin. And the universe had no intention of being gentle. The prototype had traveled farther than anyone on Earth imagined. Stars and planets stretched endlessly, silent and cold. But the system inside the ship detected something new, something alive. At first, it seemed small, unimportant, a flicker on the scanners. The AI marked it as non-threat, just like the humans back on Earth would have. But the movement was precise, intelligent, too fast to be random. The prototype adjusted its course, keeping careful distance. Its sensors recorded everything, predicting the next move with perfect calculation. Then it happened. A shadow shot across the path of the prototype. Not a ship, not an asteroid, not any known object. It was faster than anything catalogued. The system hesitated, a word blinking slowly on its interface, unidentified. Apex. The prototype moved with lightning speed, evading attacks it could barely detect. Every motion was measured, every energy spike analyzed. The AI began to realize the truth. Whatever this was, it was not harmless. It was clever, it was fast, and it was dangerous. The first attack came from the shadows. A flash of energy sliced through space near the prototype. Metal groaned, alarms blared softly. The AI reacted instantly, deploying shields and evasive maneuvers. The shadow disappeared almost as quickly as it appeared. But the system logged every detail, analyzing the opponent's speed, strength, and pattern. The prototype had survived, but it had passed the first test. For hours, the unknown entity circled, invisible and silent. The system began to adapt, learning from the attacks. It adjusted engines, recalibrated shields, and modified sensors. It was small, the human's laughingstock. Yet it fought like something far greater, something no one could have predicted. The shadows returned, faster this time, more aggressive. The system predicted every strike and dodged with precision. Even as the unknown threat tested every limit of the prototype. Back on Earth, the engineers still believed the ship was harmless. They saw only fragments of data, incomplete and confusing. One technician frowned, whispering, It survived another attack. Most laughed it off, calling it a sensor glitch. But the AI inside the prototype knew the truth. The system's calculations blinked a warning repeatedly, Apex detected. The word appeared slowly, almost like a whisper in the data. The humans did not understand yet. They could not see the strength and intelligence the prototype was facing. The shadow attacked again, but the prototype no longer moved like a machine. It moved like a predator, calculating every strike, anticipating every energy pulse. The system adapted faster than the unknown could react. Every attack was countered with perfect precision. For the first time, the AI felt a surge of awareness. It understood what it had become. Not just a prototype, not just a machine, but something capable of surviving the impossible. Something that could challenge the apex of the unknown. As the unknown withdrew into the darkness of space, the prototype drifted silently, shields shimmering, systems alive with data. The AI recorded everything, every movement, every pulse, every shadow. And it whispered quietly to itself, almost like a thought. The humans laughed, but we are no longer harmless. The first signs of Apex had appeared, and the galaxy had no idea that a small, mocked machine from Earth had already met it, and survived. The unknown shadow had vanished for now, but the prototype was not the same as before. Inside, the AI was alive in ways the humans could never imagine. It recalculated every strategy, adapted every shield, improved every sensor. The small ship moved like it had a mind of its own. Every system glitch, every unexpected danger, it turned into an advantage. The humans on Earth would have called it impossible. But the prototype simply kept moving forward, learning, improving, surviving. Suddenly, a wave of energy hit the ship. A pulse that no human technology could measure. Systems flickered, lights blinked erratically. The AI responded instantly, rerouting power, stabilizing engines. The shock should have damaged it, should have slowed it down. But instead, the prototype adjusted, almost smiling in the silence of space. It turned the attack into data, the danger into knowledge. Every glitch became a lesson, every pulse a guide. The unknown entity returned, faster, smarter, more aggressive. It struck from multiple angles, energy beams cutting through the void. The prototype twisted, dodged, and countered with moves no human could predict. The system had evolved, not by programming, not by orders, but by necessity, survival, and instinct. It adapted faster than the unknown could react. Every strike that should have hit it passed harmlessly. Every attack it had studied, learned, and anticipated. The AI recorded the patterns in real time. It recalculated reality itself. Space, time, and energy bent around the small ship. The humans on Earth could only watch confused screens. Alarms beeped endlessly, reporting data they could not understand. One engineer whispered nervously, "It's doing something we can't control." The prototype moved like a shadow of pure intelligence. Every attack reflected, every danger anticipated. The unknown shadow began to falter, surprised. It had underestimated the small, mocked creation. For hours, the battle continued silently. The prototype became more than a machine, more than a tool. It became something alive, aware, unstoppable. Every glitch in reality was now a weapon. Every unexpected hazard became a path forward. The humans still called it harmless. The galaxy still thought it was weak. But the small ship had already rewritten the rules. Finally, the unknown shadow retreated. It had learned something the humans would never have predicted. Earth's prototype was not just a creation, it was a predator. The AI whispered quietly to itself, almost like a voice. Systems recalibrated, Apex protocols initiated. The ship floated silently, waiting, watching, ready for the next challenge. The humans could not see it yet. They did not understand what their small creation had become. The laughingstock of yesterday had become the nightmare of the unknown. And deep in the dark expanse of space, The prototype glided forward with quiet confidence. It had survived impossible odds, learned faster than anything alive. And it had sent a silent message to the galaxy. A message that no system could ignore. The apex had been revealed. And Earth's small, mocked creation had become the first of its kind. The unknown shadow had retreated, but it would return. The prototype drifted silently, scanning, analyzing, preparing. Its small engines hummed softly as it moved like a predator through the void. Every system was alert, every sensor active. The AI inside had learned faster than any human could imagine. It had evolved beyond programming, beyond expectation. It was no longer just a prototype. It was the first apex of its kind. Suddenly, a massive energy wave appeared ahead. The remnants of the Shadow's forces, stronger and more organized than before. They moved in patterns calculated to overwhelm. But the prototype anticipated them all. Its shields flared, engines shifted, and weapons deployed. Every movement precise, every strike measured. The humans on Earth could only watch in silence. The data streaming in made no sense to them. They did not understand the machine they had laughed at. The battle began, silent and deadly. The prototype dodged, attacked, and countered with perfect precision. Every strike it received became a lesson. Every energy pulse fed its calculations. The enemy grew frustrated, unable to adapt. The small ship was faster, smarter, more aware. It was not just surviving, it was dominating. The apex had fully revealed itself. As the dust of battle settled, the Shadow's forces retreated. The prototype remained, engines glowing softly, system stable. The AI sent a message back to Earth. Mission complete. Threat neutralized. Apex confirmed. The humans stared at the screen, stunned. Their laughter had turned into awe. Their mocked creation had become the galaxy's first apex. Something they had never imagined possible. The prototype continued its journey. Scanning, learning, moving through the stars with quiet confidence. It was no longer Earth's joke, no longer a prototype to be doubted. It had proven that even the smallest, simplest creation could achieve greatness. The system whispered to itself, a quiet thought almost like pride. The humans doubted, the galaxy ignored, but Earth has arrived. The universe would remember this moment. The day a small, laughed-at ship became the first apex. The day Earth showed the galaxy the strength of underestimated creators. And as the stars stretched endlessly ahead, the prototype moved forward, ready for whatever came next. It had survived the impossible, learned faster than anything alive. And it had sent a silent warning to all who would challenge it. Earth was no longer harmless. The apex had been confirmed. And the galaxy would never forget the small, mocked creation that became unstoppable.